Ezekiel 1 and verse 4. Now, these were young men in whom there was no blemish, but good looking, gifted in all wisdom, possessing knowledge and quick to understand, who had ability to serve in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the language and the literature of the Chaldeans. Now, notice there were some requirements. Daniel and friends, you want upward mobility? No problem. But I have basic requirements for you. Number one, you got to learn the culture of Babylon. So Daniel and his friends went to the universities of Babylon. They went there and they learned Babylonian arts. They learned Babylonian sciences, culture. Now, number two, they got to learn the language of Babylon. So they got to know how to communicate, speak like them, know their lingos, their nuances, because they must have the ability to live and work among the Babylonians. In fact, verse 4 says they got to have the ability to serve in the king's palace. They got to know how to work in City Hall, if you like. Number three, they got to dress like the Babylonians. Now, I did a lot of studies on this. Daniel, according to historical records, wore Babylonian headgears, had Babylonian robes, Babylonian belts, Babylonian sandals. He looked 100% like a Babylonian, like an official in the palace. In order for Daniel to work there, he would have, now check this out, curl his hair and dye it orange red. Have his eyes painted with eyeshadow and eyeliner. All right, he was the first metrosexual man of ancient history. His face painted with white lead. He looked 100% like the Babylonian of his day. In fact, Joseph was the same. Have you ever wondered why was it that the brothers of Joseph, when they saw him and they met him, they couldn't recognize him? Well, you know, because Joseph, according to the NIV Bible commentary, the NIV Bible, the never incorrect version, right? The only reason his brothers couldn't recognize him was because, this is what the NIV Bible commentary says, he was totally Egyptianized. Now, Egypt is a picture of the world. Joseph looked 100% worldly. Well, God had no problem with that, and he was a hero of faith. Now, the king went one step further. Number 4, they must change their names. So there was a name change. They got to assume the identity of the Babylonians. So Daniel was called Belteshazzar. Okay, let's look at verse 6 right now. Now, from among those of the sons of Judah were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. To them the chief of the eunuchs gave names. He gave Daniel the name Belteshazzar, to Hananiah Shadrach, to Mishael Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego. Now, Daniel was called Belteshazzar. Now, what is the meaning of the word Belteshazzar? Now, this might shock some of you, but Bel was the name of the Babylonian god, also known as Beelzebub. Belteshazzar means Bel or Beelzebub will protect him. That was his name in order for him to work among the Babylonians.